Once upon a time there was a king. The king had a beautiful garden. In the garden grew a special tree. It was a golden apple tree.
The tree had leaves of shimmering gold. It grew the most delicious apples. These apples were not just yellow or red, they were golden too.
The king loved his golden apple tree very much. Every day the king visited his garden. He walked along the path. He smiled at the sight of the golden apples. The apples shone brightly in the sunlight. The king was very proud of his treasure. One morning, the king was upset. Some of his golden apples were missing. Who was stealing his precious apples? The king was very angry. He called for his gardener.
Find the thief! You must guard the tree every night. Do not let anyone steal my golden apples.
The gardener was worried. He did not know who the thief could be. He promised the king he would catch the thief. The gardener had 3 sons. He asked his eldest son to guard the tree.
Stay awake. Be careful.
The eldest son sat under the tree. He had a sword to protect the apples, but the night was long. Soon the eldest son fell fast asleep. The next morning more apples were gone. The king was furious. The gardener was scared. He asked his second son to guard the tree that night. The second son took his turn. He was determined to stay awake, but he too grew tired. He also fell asleep. Now it was the youngest son's turn. He was a kind and gentle boy. He wanted to help his father. He sat beneath the golden apple tree. He tried to stay awake. Suddenly he heard a fluttering sound. A beautiful bird landed on the tree. This was no ordinary bird. Its feathers shimmered like gold. The young man had found the thief. It was the golden bird.
The thief is the golden bird.
The youngest son had discovered the mystery of the missing apples. The golden bird began to eat the golden apples. The young man wanted to catch it, but the bird flew away. The young man told his father about the golden bird. The king heard the news about the golden bird. He was no longer interested in just apples.
I want the whole bird, bring it to me.
The eldest son set out to catch the golden bird. He walked for many days. He came to a forest. In the forest he met a fox.
Where are you going?
I'm going to catch the golden bird.
The fox listened to the eldest son. He shook his head, sensing the danger ahead.
That is a dangerous quest, fraught with peril and uncertainty, but I will help you. Listen to my advice carefully, for it may save your life. Tonight, you will come to a village, a place where travelers often rest. You will see 2 inns standing side by side. One inn will be bright and cheerful, filled with light and laughter. The other will be small and quiet, almost hidden in the shadows. You must choose the smaller inn, no matter how uninviting it may seem.
The eldest son thanked the fox for his wisdom and guidance. He continued on his journey, determined to follow the advice given to him. He soon reached the village, just as the fox had foretold. He saw the 2 inns exactly as described. The first inn was large and inviting, with music and laughter spilling out of the windows. It seemed like a place of joy and celebration, drawing him in with its warmth. The second inn was small and quiet, its entrance shrouded in darkness. It looked dark and unwelcoming, almost as if it wanted to be ignored. The eldest son, tempted by the allure of the larger inn, forgot the fox's advice.
This looks like a much better place to stay, he thought, convinced by the lively atmosphere.
He went inside the large inn, drawn by its charm and festivity, and never came out again, lost forever to the temptations that led him astray. The second son decided to try his luck. He too met the fox. The fox gave him the same advice.
Choose the smaller inn.
The second son, like his brother, ignored the fox's advice. He also chose the large, cheerful inn. He too never returned. Section 8. The youngest son's journey.
I am worried my brothers have not returned. Father, may I try to find the golden bird?
The king agreed. He wanted the golden bird very much.
Thank you, father. I will set out on my journey.
The youngest son set out on his journey. He too met the fox.
Remember, young man, the 2 inns. Choose wisely.
The youngest son was a good listener.
Thank you, wise fox. I promise to remember your advice.
He reached the village and saw the 2 inns. He remembered the fox's words. He chose the smaller, quieter inn. Section 9. The Golden Horse and the Princess. This is a tale of bravery, wisdom, and the magical bond between a young man and a mystical fox. The next morning, the fox was waiting for him, its eyes gleaming with a knowing look, as if it had foreseen the challenges ahead.
You were wise to choose this inn. Now listen carefully. The path ahead is fraught with danger, but also with great rewards. I will help you find the golden bird, a treasure beyond imagination, but you must follow my instructions precisely. Tonight, you will come to a castle, a place shrouded in mystery and guarded by vigilant sentinels. In the courtyard, there will be a golden bird in a wooden cage, its feathers shimmering like the sun. It will be tempting to take the bird and run. Do not do it. The allure of the bird's beauty can cloud your judgment. Instead, take the wooden cage and replace it with this iron cage. This is crucial for your success.
The fox gave the young man a small iron cage, its metal glinting under the morning sun. The youngest son did as he was told, his heart pounding with anticipation and fear. He went into the courtyard, the air thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the promise of adventure. He quietly swapped the cages, his hands trembling as he made the exchange. As soon as the golden bird was in the iron cage, it began to sing. Its melody was enchanting, filling the night air with magic. The noise woke the guards, their heavy footsteps echoing through the courtyard. They saw the young man and chased him, their shouts piercing the night. The fox had warned the young man this might happen, and now his words rang true.
Ask for the golden horse as a reward. This horse is not just any steed. It holds the key to your escape. This will help you escape faster than any guard can follow.
The young man did just that, his determination unwavering. The guards thought he was crazy, their laughter echoing through the castle walls. They laughed and gave him the horse, thinking it was a joke, but this was no ordinary horse. Its coat shimmered with a golden hue and its eyes sparkled with intelligence. It was the fastest horse in the kingdom. No other steed could match its speed and grace. He rode away as fast as he could, the wind whipping through his hair and the landscape blurring around him. The fox met him again, its eyes filled with approval and a hint of caution.
You have done well, but be careful. The journey is not over yet. The golden bird is not all that is kept in the castle. There are other treasures and other dangers. There is also a beautiful princess, her beauty unmatched and her spirit unbroken. She is kind and gentle, her heart pure and her soul filled with hope. She is kept prisoner in the castle. You must save her. Her freedom is as important as the golden bird.
The young man was a kind soul. He agreed to help, his heart filled with a sense of duty and compassion. He returned to the castle, the setting sun casting a golden glow over the majestic structure. With the fox's help, he rescued the princess, their bond growing stronger with each challenge they faced. Section 10, A Joyful Reunion. This is a tale of happiness and celebration where the bonds of family and friendship are rekindled in the most magical way. The youngest son, the princess, and the golden bird rode away on the golden horse, their hearts filled with hope and excitement for the future. They traveled for many days, through enchanted forests and over sparkling rivers, each moment bringing them closer to their destination. They finally arrived back at the young man's home, a place filled with memories and love. The youngest son's family was overjoyed to see him, their hearts swelled with pride and relief. They had feared he was lost forever, their nights filled with worry and their days with longing.
I am amazed by the golden bird. And this beautiful princess. She is more wonderful than I ever imagined. I forgive you for taking the bird. It has brought us all together in the end. You and the princess shall marry. Your love is a beacon of hope for us all.
The wedding was a grand affair. Everyone celebrated with joy and laughter, their hearts light and their spirits high. There was music, dancing, and feasting. The air was filled with the sounds of merriment and the aroma of delicious food. The youngest son was a hero. His bravery and kindness had saved the day. He had saved the princess and brought the golden bird to the king, fulfilling his quest with honor. But the kind young man had not forgotten his brothers. He knew they needed help too.
Your Majesty, my brothers need help. They are lost and in danger. They are still out there, wandering in the dark forest, searching for a way home.
The king sent his guards to rescue them, determined to bring them back safely. They returned safely, having learned a valuable lesson about listening to good advice and the importance of family. The reunion was complete, and they all lived happily ever after. Section 11. The moral of the story: the youngest son, his brothers, and the princess lived happily ever after. The golden bird sang its beautiful songs in the king's garden, and the golden horse, it galloped freely in the royal stables. The youngest son had faced many dangers. He was brave and kind. He listened to the wise fox's advice, and he always tried to do what was right. The youngest son learned that courage and wisdom are important, but most importantly, he learned that a good deed is never lost. Kindness and persistence always have their rewards.